Ghd Duet Styler versus Remington Wet to Style. Both of these are technically wet hair stylers that take your damp wet hair to dry styled hair. This right here is the OG. I don't want to use it, but we're going to use it in today's video. Compare it to the newest Ghd hair styler. Remington Wet to Style, $29.99 versus Ghd Duet Style, $399 US. Let's get into it. Let's hear the hissing. So the Remington Wet to Style technology is pretty straightforward. There's not much technology in here. It has the two plates and then the one plate right here where you see the holes. This uses basically hot plates and it takes out the steam from your hair to dry it through the vents. That sounds very scary, very dangerous. They said, note, the unit may take a steaming hissing noise when used on damp hair. This is okay, with an exclamation point. The unique design of this styler will channel the moisture away from hair and out the steam vents. So if you hear hissing noises, it's totally okay from Remington. Ghd Duet Style uses completely different technology. They use air instead of heat from the plates. So the plates don't actually get heated up, only the air vents get heat. The plates, when they get turned on, the air turns off. And when you're only using the Duet, which is just to dry your hair, the plates are not turned on, just the air is turned on. The Remington, you actually have to control the temperature of the plates, and I believe you can go up to like 450, which is dangerously high. They also have this little guide right here in the little booklet, which says, damp hair should be between 340 and 370 degrees Fahrenheit. Wet hair, 390 up to 450 Fahrenheit, and then dry hair, 280 between 320 Fahrenheit. I'm trying to go down in my temperature to 340 and it's not letting me. The lowest I can go with the steam option is 370. So either they got this wrong or my Remington is broken. They said I could go down to 340 on the damp, which is the steam option, and I can only go down to 370. I'm pressing the minus button and it's staying at 370. I am going to use a brush to guide, and they say to have the holes or the vents facing up, away from your scalp. I don't know if you can see the steam. Hold it for like 2 seconds and just go down gently. I'm not hearing any noise. It's pulling on my hair a little bit. It's very smooth.
So 3 passes now. Does it feel dry yet?
I mean, it doesn't even look dry. Yeah, you can still see it's damp. Okay, now I hear the hissing. Pretty mild. This just doesn't feel right to take a flat iron, a hot flat iron, 370 degrees Fahrenheit to your wet, damp hair. My hair is not soaking wet. You can see it's damp. But it's pulling on some of my hair. Let me heat up the Ghd.
Yeah, ready to boil.
That already looks so much better. Yeah, and this you can feel the air going onto the scalp. So it kind of feels more traditional in that, in that sense. Like, this doesn't feel wrong. feeling the air. And it's making the noise, you know, like a hairdryer would. So much damage. That's hot, 370 Fahrenheit. I wonder why they're going higher on damp hair versus other hair dryers. They don't even go up that high. You know, typical hair dryers, they don't go above 300. If they do, it's low 300s. I think that was over 10 passes already. Yeah, you can still see it's a little damp. I mean, I'm pretty impressed that, look at that, the GHD was able to smooth that out, but this side's having a hard time. This is using strictly the plates. I feel like this is taking at least 2x longer than GHD. That just sounds so bad. Hope you guys heard that one. It's pulling way too much in my hair. I'm not liking that. Okay, so on the GHD side, I strictly did the Duet Styler, which is just the air blowing. So I didn't actually do the shine feature, which is turning on the plates to straighten my hair. I feel like it still feels damp towards the bottom right here with the Remington. I'm gonna turn on the GHD, but I'm gonna turn the plates on since my hair is already dry. GHD on the right, Remington on the left. The Remington doesn't feel as smooth and silky as the GHD. I feel like I have some kinks towards the bottom, even though I was using a brush, but.
I mean, that doesn't look all that smooth either, but it looks smoother.
All right, I'm gonna take this quickly, just smooth it out a little bit. That glides like butter. What a difference. $400 versus $30. I would hope there'd be a difference. I'm gonna turn the steam option off, which you just hold the plus button for 2 seconds. And now we can go up to however high we want, which is 450, I believe. Yes, 450. We don't need 450. We're just gonna stick with 370. Let's try to smooth this out because you can see the difference now. The GHD even, it's extremely silky looking and smooth versus the Remington. Remington side with the ends, there's still, a lot of them are kind of going their own separate way. They're not as smooth and silky and shiny. And this is the GHD side. You can see like most of the hair is going in one direction. It's very sleek, straight, and smooth. I don't see any kinks. It's very smooth. And it's not as frizzy. But the ends is what makes the difference. They look very straight and very even. Okay, so both sides perform, right? As I was mentioning throughout, when I was using the Remington, it just doesn't feel right. You're drying and styling your hair when there is no air coming out. And that hissing noise, yes, they claim that it's okay with an exclamation point, but personally, it just doesn't feel right that you could dry your hair using that high of a temperature. It's going to fry your hair. Yes, it works, but is it worth it, you know? I don't think this is a good option, even though yes, it's $30. It's relatively affordable, but at what cost? You know, at what cost? Versus the GHD, it's $400. It's very expensive. I think this is only good for those that flat iron and straighten their hair constantly. This might be a good alternative because it is a hair dryer and a flat iron in one. This Remington, it's not a hair dryer. It's strictly a flat iron.
And it's slow too.
Very slow. It is at least 2x slower than the Ghd Duet. The Ghd, it is a hair dryer. The air does blow onto your roots, so it does help dry your roots while styling your hair at the same time. And then of course you do have the flat iron feature on here as well. So yes, at what cost? Again, right, at the end of the day, this is $400 versus $30. Another thing negative towards the Remington, it smells. My hair smells. I even had Jackie come up and sniff my hair. The Ghd does not have a smell when using the Duet Style, the hair dryer portion. When I turn down the shine shot, which is the plates they turn on to heat like a flat iron, I found that it did have a little bit of a smell. I don't know if it's the coating on the plates or the packaging, but it does have a particular smell. It doesn't smell burned or like your hair is heated. But the Remington, it does have a very particular burn, heat, hair smell. That's how I'll put it. It doesn't smell great. It's not pleasant. Again, at the end of the day, I'm not gonna tell you not to buy the Remington. I'm not gonna tell you to buy the Remington. Personally, I'm never going to use this again unless I'm going to compare it to something else. The Ghd, I actually will use again on my hair, especially for traveling. I think this is a great option if I want the sleek, straight hair result. If I'm looking for more versatility, the Ghd is not it. No versatility, in my opinion. I'm gonna leave it there. Thank you for watching, spending time with us, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.